Okay, so in this section of the assignment, we're going to actually analyze different buzzwords or topics that are analyzed by the three different news networks, and in many ways analyze how they're covered by repetition usage by this particular study. So let's go back to this. Here are the rest of the words. Now we'll go through some major news topics from the past few months and see where words related to the topics fall on the chart. So here we have CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News. The Russia investigation. So the investigation into the Trump campaign's ties to Russia has been a major news item since the 2016 election, but the bulk of its cable coverage has come from MSNBC, as you can see here by the amount of dots and circles conveyed by that moving outer line. So let's go ahead and answer these questions knowing what we know. What types of buzzwords are measured on this topic? Well, we have Mueller, Flynn, Putin, Kremlin. So let's put down some of these words right here. And of course, all these words were, in many ways, probably analyzed by this study to determine how they were being covered. So MSNBC covers them the most. Now, let's be honest, knowing what we know so far about the three different news networks, with MSNBC being on the very left, Fox News being on the very right, and CNN kind of being left of center, the reason why MSNBC probably wants to cover this more is because MSNBC is far left, but additionally, they probably want to discredit the Trump administration. And so the reason why they're probably covering this more is because it makes the Trump administration look inept and corrupt in their handlings of inner workings with Russia and the Russian government. Let's move on to the next topic here to further prove this point about topic coverage in the news. The Clintons. So, moving down here, though Hillary Clinton has made a few public appearances following the 2016 election, she, her family, and events related to her campaign have still been a big news item on Fox. So as you can see here, Fox News, see how this changed, right? Now covers this topic more. Here are some topics that were used in this study to identify what the Clintons: uranium, Benghazi, Chelsea, of course that's her daughter, Server, Uma Abedin, and John Podesta. Okay, so let's type down some of these buzzwords here. I think the main reason why Fox News might want to cover this more is probably because Fox News is more far right, but they probably want to discredit the Clintons. Even after Trump's election win. Mostly because probably they want to make him look more legitimate as opposed to a contrast to what she would have been as a maybe even more corrupt official. Okay, next we have the topic of hurricanes. Let's talk about hurricanes now. Let's scroll down. 2017 had some of the most active hurricane seasons in recorded history. So storms slammed the southern United States and Puerto Rico, causing hundreds of deaths and billions of dollars in damages. CNN's coverage focused on hurricanes more than the other networks. So here are some buzzwords: Irma, storm, wind, pummel, tropic, Caribbean, and miles per hour. Okay, here we go. Now, let's be honest. I think maybe the big reason why CNN would cover this more is because this is a security issue, and it really affects everyone. So even though you might not think this is a political topic, the fact is that CNN often provides 24/7 on the ground or in the air coverage of special events or natural disasters, and in this way, that's probably what they're covering in this light. Let's move on to NFL protests. If you guys remember that was a big topic here a few years ago. So though all three networks did cover the NFL protests, Fox focused slightly more on Colin Kaepernick and the word anthem, as you can see here by this diagram. Here are some of the buzzwords: NFL, kneel, anthem, Kaepernick, and flag. So let's go ahead and type them down here. Now, this one's kind of complicated, but maybe the main reason why Fox News would want to cover this more than other networks is because of this. Maybe Fox News, aside from being, right or on the right of this issue, maybe they're upset about this issue and want to maybe portray this as an anti-American demonstration. There are many people who are, of course, outraged by the kneelings of NFL athletes during the anthem. So this, of course, I think plays in that narrative for Fox quite cleverly. Let's move on to another issue here. I think we have North Korea next. Okay, so North Korea is an interesting topic, and here's why. So coverage of North Korea's development of nuclear-capable missiles has developed about equally of all three networks. So you can see it's kind of sort of in the middle. Here are the buzzwords that show you this: Korea, Kim, nuclear, ICBM, launch rocket. By the way, ICBM stands for Intercontinental Ballistic Missile. And this one tends to be, of course, in the center, or in the middle of all three. Now, in reality, why would people like Kim Jong-un and North Korea and their nuclear weapons program be covered by all three? Well, honestly, I think all three networks would cover this because it's a universal safety issue. So what I mean by that is, North Korea getting a nuclear weapon and a dangerous dictator having access to the nuclear weapons over there can affect everybody here in the United States, whether it's on the West Coast or even in where we are on the East Coast. These types of issues are real issues that affect a variety of Americans. So once again, as you guys can see by this study, you can pretty much tell some differences between the politics of how the three major news networks cover the news. Let's go ahead and move on to the next part of the assignment, where we talk about the 24/7 news cycle and additionally other factors pertaining to news network coverage.